I'm telling him, make the right call.
It's my house.
In the 1997-98 season, the Chicago Bulls were playing through their last dance. Everyone remembers the game winner by Michael Jordan in Utah as MJ held up 6 fingers. People remember the drama of Scottie Pippen missing the first portion of the season, and they, of course, remember the story of Dennis Rodman's trips to Las Vegas. But what many don't remember is the early season battle between the Bulls and the San Antonio Spurs. Expectations for the Spurs were high coming into the season for 2 reasons. First, Spurs star David Robinson was back and healthy after playing in just 6 games in the 1996-97 season thanks to injury. And second, joining Robinson on the front court would be Tim Duncan, who looked to be not just a perfect partner for Robinson, but a special talent in his own right. By the time the Spurs faced the Bulls in the 97-98 season, San Antonio played just 2 games, winning both. As for the Bulls, their 1997-98 campaign didn't start the way they wanted it to. The Bulls started their season in Boston and shockingly lost to the Celtics. People started to worry that the Bulls wouldn't be able to stay afloat with Pippen out, but they did recover in their next game against a weak Philadelphia 76ers team. Their biggest test thus far was certainly the Spurs.
Duncan with the jumper from the wing puts it in. Doesn't seem anything fancy with Duncan. It's just...
The Spurs took an early 8-0 lead, and the Bulls looked to be in trouble. Of course, Michael Jordan would have to put his stamp on the game, getting Chicago on the board with a jumper from 20 feet. San Antonio attacked Chicago's interior, finishing with close-in shots from Robinson, Duncan, and Avery Johnson. Phil Jackson had no choice but to call a timeout as the Bulls trailed 14-4. The Bulls battled hard, but they couldn't make up much ground as the Spurs took a 29-15 lead after the first quarter, with Duncan scoring 7 while adding 7 rebounds. For Chicago, Jordan scored 4 points, but shot just 2 for 6 from the field. It was Tony Kukoc's 6 points off the bench that kept the Bulls somewhat in the game. But if Chicago wanted to get back in the game, Jordan would have to play better, right? Well, in the second quarter, with Jordan beginning on the bench, some unexpected names stepped up for the Bulls, helping to cut down the Spurs' lead.
70 or 80%.
That's a great play. Oh,
Dennis beat him to the spot that time.
That time it looked like Dennis had I thought he might do something on that last play, but right here he takes the good position.
That's charge. He lowers his shoulder, out of control.
After Robinson scored the first bucket of the second quarter, Judd Buechler nailed a 3 for the Bulls. About a minute later, Steve Kerr drained a 3-pointer. Next up, Ron Harper made a layup, and Joe Klein hit 2 shots for Chicago. Kerr would add a 20-foot jumper with 5:55 remaining in the second as Chicago cut the lead to 10, trailing 39-29. Jordan finally re-entered the game, but his struggles continued as he missed his first shot of the second quarter. Buechler came through for Chicago again as he hit yet another 3-pointer to cut San Antonio's lead to 39-32. The remaining of the first half would see just 9 points scored as the Spurs took a 45-35 lead in the halftime. With just 5 points on 2 for 9 shooting in the first half, you would know Michael Jordan would pick up the pace in the second half to help bring his team back into the game. MJ would do just that at the start of the third quarter, finishing a beautiful 2-handed slam dunk thanks to a nice pass from Longley.
Looking for Michael, he cuts around Elliott late.
Jordan would start to get hot as he'd nail his second straight shot, this time a jumper from 22 feet. Jordan's jumper cut the Spurs' lead to 47-39, but Robinson would score San Antonio's first bucket of the second half with a nice flip shot in the paint over the outstretched hands of Longley. Jordan would eventually break free for a monster slam dunk, citing a roar from the crowd.
MJ, rocker step. Oh! And
The third belonged to Jordan, as he scored 14 in the quarter, while San Antonio scored just 12 as a team.
Now backs it off. Michael goes baseline. In traffic.
Come on, man. That didn't touch any board at all. You think the only way you could get it up? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're going to miss Craig Elo, huh?
48-46. It's a two-point game, and it can be tied right there.
Hey.
San Antonio needs a timeout, and they take it. 6:05 left in the third. They're on their feet at the United Center. The Bulls are tied with San Antonio.
The Bulls have turned up the defensive pressure in the second half after the free throw. The trap, Michael gets a piece of the ball. Jason bats it back to him. A quick jumper in the lane.
The fourth quarter would start with the Bulls' Tony Kukoc getting hit with a technical foul. After Elliott missed a technical free throw, Kukoc made up for his mistake by making a jumper. The Spurs now led 57-55. The two teams would continue to struggle to score, as this game was truly a defensive slugfest.
The ball down and loose. Spin move, blocked by Adel. He's fouled. Bulls ball.
Okay, 113. Bulls down by one.
But Dennis forced him out on the floor at that time a little bit further.
With 16 seconds remaining in the game, the Spurs led 73-70 thanks to Duncan's perfect 3-for-3 shooting in the fourth. Jordan, however, struggled, being scoreless in the fourth, missing on all 9 of his shot attempts. Rodman was doing his part for the Bulls, helping to keep Chicago close, scoring 3 points in the fourth while grabbing 4 rebounds, including 2 on the offensive end. The last 10 seconds of the game would be a frenzy. First, Jordan's jumper was blocked by Robinson, but Longley grabbed the ball and tossed it right back to Jordan. MJ quickly found Kukoc, who had a good look at a 3 for the tie, but he missed. Luckily for Chicago, the long rebound was tipped into Longley's hands, who quickly found Jordan, and Jordan became Jordan by nailing a game-tying 3 as time expired.
2 seconds, 1 second. This is to tie.
Oh, yes, sir! David Robinson says, damn! Michael says, I'll take it. His first basket coming in this quarter.
This place is going crazy. We're going to overtime at the United Center.
In overtime, the Bulls came out swinging, scoring the first 4 points on 2 jumpers, one by Kerr and one by Jordan. The Spurs would answer by scoring the next 4 points on a dunk by Duncan and 2 free throws by Jaren Jackson. With the game tied at 77-77, Elliott tried to give the Spurs a 2-point lead with what looked to be an easy layup. But Elliott's shot attempt would be blocked by Jordan, who was chasing him the entire way. Robinson gave the Spurs a 79-77 lead by converting a jumper with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. With 21.8 seconds remaining, Jordan hit a pull-up jumper with 2 guys on him, tying the game at 79-79.
Ready for it.
MJ one-on-one with Elliott, fades, fires, hits again! And the Spurs want a timeout. 21.8 seconds left, and MJ has done it again to the Spurs.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's still 28.
22 seconds, yeah.
22 seconds.
Avery Johnson would miss the Spurs' next shot attempt with just 0.4 of a second remaining for the Bulls. Chicago would attempt to get the ball to Jordan, but Elliott successfully knocked the ball loose and the game headed into a second overtime.
In action, maybe Michael looping over the top. He was going to try to catch it in the air and put that thing up. Tony didn't throw it high enough.
We are going to a second overtime. The Bulls and Spurs are tied at 79.
In the second overtime, Jordan would get some help from his teammates. First, Jordan made a nice pass out of the double team to Longley, but the Chicago big man would have his shot blocked by Robinson. Luckily for the Bulls, Longley grabbed the ball and put in a layup, giving the Bulls an 81-79 lead. Later, Ron Harper would give the Bulls an 83-79 lead thanks to a layup. Then, with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second overtime, Jordan gave Duncan his welcome to the NBA moment. Duncan attempted a shot against Rodman in the post, and Jordan came over to block Duncan's shot out of bounds. This wouldn't be the last great defensive play by MJ in the second overtime. With 1 minute and 27 seconds left, Jordan stripped and stole the ball from Johnson as the Bulls held on to an 83-82 lead.
Duncan, now Avery comes over in the corner, gives the ball again, driving to the middle. Avery's there, but Michael steals the ball, and as he does, look at Scottie Pippen saying, there it is, my man on defense. There it was. He just took it away from him.
And you saw him.
Jordan would change this as he nailed a jumper to give Chicago an 85-82 lead with 31.4 seconds remaining.
Clock at 36. Michael one-on-one with Sean Elliott. Fakes the shot, fakes it again, baseline jump.
Oh, he had it again!
Elliott would miss a three with about 14 seconds remaining for the Spurs, and this would basically seal the win for the Bulls. Jordan would add a free throw, bringing his total to 29 points, despite shooting 12 for 39 from the field. Rodman battled Duncan all game long to grab 22 rebounds, including 10 on the offensive end. The Bulls won the game 87-83. Yes, it was a double overtime where each team did not score 90 points, and the Spurs did not make a single three-pointer. That's 90s basketball, and it truly was a battle every single possession. As for the Spurs, the rookie Duncan showcased his bright future by scoring 19 points and grabbing 22 rebounds of his own. Robinson was still the star of the Spurs, and he led the team in scoring with 21 points. This game was sort of a passing of the torch, as it truly would be the last dance for Chicago, as the Bulls would win their sixth and last title of the decade. The Spurs, on the other hand, would begin their own dominance starting in the following season, winning the first of 5 NBA titles in franchise history, all with Duncan dominating, similar to how Jordan dominated for the Bulls.